Welcome to Why We Roll,
a tabletop role-playing game design podcast by the Stillfleet Studio.
We're your hosts, Chris Pickett, creator of the historical fantasy game Dance Macabre,
and Wythe Marshall, creator of the political sci-fi game Stillfleet.
Through the show, we hope to amplify new creative voices.
We chat with different indie TTRPG designers, talking through a range of questions that are pertinent to many designers, players, and GMs.
We hope to showcase fresh and even challenging ideas about what makes imagination-based games so powerful.
Before we introduce today's guest, a reminder. If you enjoy this episode, please consider supporting the show and all of our games over at patreon.com/Stillfleet.
Okay, let's find out why we roll. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Why We Roll, coming at you from the floor of PAX Unplugged 2024. Live, yeah. Live. As always, I'm Chris Pickett.
And I'm Wythe Marshall.
And we're joined today by Tony Grasso, our good friend and creator of Blister Critters.
That is indeed. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to talk with us during a busy convention. Thankfully busy, not just because Philly's full of people and some of them are lovely nerds and they're here in the Pennsylvania Convention Center, but also specifically because we launched Blister Critters.
That's right.
So we're fulfilling it to backers next week. Don't worry, if you backed it, you're getting it like first thing Monday it starts. But Sweet. Here we have the copies. We just got them. Like, they just arrived from China.
We hadn't seen them in person just yet, so when we got here and we were unboxing them like little kids, looking through them, It was really, really cool to see everything. Everything looks great. It feels good. It looks good. So I'm excited for backers to finally get their hands on it. It'll relatively quick turnaround too, which is nice.
Less than a year. Way less than a year.
Yeah.
So Chris and I thought we would just stop and ask 15 minutes of your time or so and just kind of do an impromptu live on the floor,
I'll allow it.
Chat.
You'll allow it. Yeah, well, so how has it been? As I understand it, this is your first time selling at a con. Mm-hmm. You've been doing TTRPG illustrations for years. You've been doing writing for some time, but this is your first time on the floor. How has the experience been for you?
It's been good. I mean, this is my first con ever in general, not just role-playing games or board games focused. I've never been to a big convention before.
Oh, wow.
So it's definitely been cool. I mean, I work from home, so I see maybe a room full of 20 people max if I'm daring. So this has definitely been a little bit of a shock, but it's been really, really nice. Everyone's been super friendly. Coming from Tallahassee, now I'm in the frigid Pennsylvania weather. It's been, I brought the right coat, so I'm not, can only complain so much, but it's been good. Being able to show everybody the game and be proud of the way that it looks and be here with the Stillfleet crew, and it's been really, really nice. Everyone's been really sweet and people are receiving the game well, which is also important.
Give us a reminder for listeners, what is the quick pitch? What is Blister Critters, the tabletop role-playing experience by Anthony Grasso?
In Blister Critters, you are a mutated cartoon animal on a Saturday morning cartoon. So every session is an episode, your GM is the producer, and you are kind of going through a humanless suburbia in this weird eco-apocalypse where all the humans are gone, they left all their stuff behind, and you have a new tentacle limb.
It's my favorite genre.
It's been cool. It's been cool talking to people, and everybody seems to kind of grok it really quick, and they bring their own sort of references, or Ren and Stimpy, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I usually say, it's for me, when I jam, it's Ren and Stimpy meets The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And it's downtown Atlanta. It's more urban, very gnarly. But someone was asking other ways, and I was like, oh, no. When Tony runs it, it's SpongeBob SquarePants.
Exactly.
On acid, it's adult SpongeBob SquarePants.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, what's been cool, you mentioned Atlanta, when I'm kind of talking to people about it now, I'm definitely trying to emphasize, hey, you can run this in your town. Whatever your favorite local game store is, go be an animal in the game store. Whatever your local dump is, go run around in the dump.
We even have the Outback Adventure and Coast of New Zealand Adventure. So we have people who've already written stuff for it.
Exactly.
It's very different from Sunbelt Suburban Mall, which is what you and I had envisioned as kind of the default, nostalgic, making fun of the mall. That's an easy place for, I think, many American, players to kind of vibe with.
Sure.
But I love seeing just people run with I want to be a different kind of weird animal,
Exactly. And I think in the couple of games that we've played, people have, because we're running games here through Games on Demand, And those have gone well so far in terms of people like, oh, I get it. I know what I'm doing. I know what kind of animal I'm trying to embody. And you've run 2 games so far.
Yeah, one team went in a very superhero direction, which was fun. So somebody was like, I am the Phoenix. And it was a mouse. It was a dormouse boss.
Sweet.
And he was like insistent that he was like a sort of the Shadow style, like old school, like, you know, a pulpy hero.
Like Cloak and Dagger.
Right.
Kinda,
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then another guy was like the Sparrowhawk who was like, I am the Eagle. And so it was like, this kind of like went very straight Batman. It was just the Eagle was a vigilante who, even though he could fly, hopped from the tops of shelves, swooped down to be more Batman-like. And
that's so
I think
funny.
that vibe, it's like I hadn't mentioned superheroes.
I was just
going to
say.
It's not part of the game per se, but of course, I grew up with the Batman animated series in the 90s, and that shit was awesome. So,
yeah, I hadn't even considered like a superhero, like animated angle at all. That's definitely something that now I want to consider and like maybe do like a supplement.
That sounds like it would be a great supplementary module, a little adventure that's kind of focused around the Blister Critters cinematic universe, the BCCU, as I've just coined. No, but I think that's truly one of the strengths of Blister Critters is that it does have this very easy access point, and I think especially, for us, I can only speak for Americans, of course, but like, we grew up watching Saturday morning cartoons. It's just kind of a part of growing up. Everybody has their own nostalgic, special experience with that, and Blister Critters gives you enough room to bring that to the table, even though the setting is still relatively specific and has its points that are sticking points, but it's so open-ended that you can really kind of tell any story.
I think it's an interesting world-building point. There's a premise that's assumed, but it's only a couple bullet points. So those are specific to your point, but then the rest of it you can flesh into what Tony's saying, like really
I feel like
easily.
you could do a whole like superhero like setting. Like the humans are gone, post-apocalypse, downtown Atlanta, but you have it all like in this superhero kind of sense where there are like villain rabbits running around and like you have like big caped crusaders kind of going through the city. Like I really do think that setting-wise, the game is really, really open and adaptable to what people want to bring to it.
Can I pitch you on a title for the module?
Yes, please.
Caped Critters.
Nice.
I like it. Or Critter Crusaders.
Ooh,
although Crusader is
a
little gross.
But that makes me think also, Chris, could we do a team up about extinct animals? Like you're drawing black and white animals that are IRL extinct 2024, but it's like if the Blister Critters apocalypse happened earlier.
They come back.
Go to the crossover with Dance Macabre.
It's like Fruit in The Wind-Up Girl where they come back.
Right. Yeah, they're de-extinct. Actually, de-extinct critters is pretty good too.
Yeah, that would be cool to do. It's funny. Yesterday, I think one of the little doodles I did, they had said dinosaur, and like it's something that I've thought about. Yeah. But I'm like, we really don't have anything. Like obviously, there's dinosaur cartoons. Like Land Before Time is a huge one, given the time period that Blister Critters kind of takes reference from. But that would be. Now we're just kind of running through different pitch ideas for supplements.
Now we're riffing.
Just to sell it a little bit better, all of these ideas that we're coming up with on the spot are all kind of, one of the highlights, I think, of Blister Critters, in that it's so adaptable, it's so modular, you can really bring anything you want to it, and the rules as they exist already facilitate playing in the dinosaur land or playing in like the caped critters.
And specifically, these are going to be brought to Patreon 1 month at a time.
Yeah.
So given other projects and other things we're doing, we are still trying to not only showcase development of future Still Fleet books and Dance Macabre as a game, the core rules, but also it's not like Blister Critters is done and we're like, well, we published that, walking away. It's very far from that. Tony has millions of ideas, so hard sell on. If you're not a patron, there's always going to be free content, of course. Every month there'll be, I think, one free card, so you get like an NPC with rules and unique powers and all that, and beautiful art by Tony. But you also can follow as Tony's writing out some of these ideas. So we were talking about not only new blister paths, so different ways you can be a mutant and you can kind of hack the game. There's this kind of meta path he developed called the Inker, where you're like drawing in stuff, which I think is really fun and different.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's a different vibe from like being hulky. But some of these future things, like I want to write the rules for being different sapient mushrooms, right, and fungi.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Animals.
Instead of just animals.
I think those are the types of things, along with, of course, similar chunks of content for Dance Macabre and Still Fleet that you'll see on the Patreon, which kind of relaunched. So sort of, my bad for letting it lapse a little bit in terms of like totally new stuff, but we're on track. We have a bunch of stuff lined up. So just a little shout out there.
That's very true.
A lot of free stuff too.
Speaking of which, Tony, what's some stuff that's coming around the bend for Blister Critters? Do you have anything that's kind of planned next that people can look forward to as they pick up the box set?
Yeah, so the box set I'm super happy with. I feel like it has everything you need to run through a bunch of different seasons of the show. But now that it's out and we've been done working on it for a little while, I kind of had time to like simmer and really think about like what would I want to add, what kind of things would I want to expand the world. So like Wire was saying, I have ideas for different blister paths. So those are kind of like the sort of classes, not really classes that you can take in Blister Critters. I want to definitely flesh out more of a partially canonized setting for people to run around in. So a large portion of Blister Critters, like we were just saying, is like, go run around your city. But I also want to start offering like, no, this is Critterville, name to be determined. Here's like the skate park there. This is the cinema that you can run around in. And so
the mall.
The mall is kind of like the big thing that I've been picking away at.
The mega
actually
dungeon.
Playtesting a little bit. Yeah, like this huge mega dungeon that you can run around in and tons of stuff. I think if I had to like condense my answer down, it's more player options, but also starting to canonize more actual setting stuff that obviously you can change the names, run around in your city. But if you're like, I want to play in the Blister Critters universe as it's written, that exists for you as well.
Enjoying the show? Please consider supporting Why We Roll in all of our games over at patreon.com/Stillfleet. Dear patrons, we really love y'all. We just couldn't keep making Why We Roll without your support. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Now back to the show.
So if you went out of the box, basically episodes. In the way that we found with Stillfleet, like we created the Sleeper in the Sky, the first official adventure, or whatever, because people asked. They were like, I want to run something. I don't want to make it up. I don't want to just recapitulate what Float City is doing. It's like while that was still going on, we're like, okay, we'll make the official intro. You're on a Hulk for a job. You're looking for architect, right?
Exactly.
Hired you to scavenge, and oops, there's dangerous aliens. So I think similarly, people might be looking. So we have in the books. I should say the book comes with a couple episodes already.
It does, yeah.
But they're maybe. Not just shorter. One is actually pretty long. One is shorter. But I think the idea of, as you're saying, kind of a default setting with few different venture hooks or NPCs and certain ways that would play out over the course of, let's say, 3 sessions, right? Not just one, but like a little mini campaign. So I think that's a great idea.
Or longer, really. I mean, depends on like where and what you want to do in this like constructed town that I'm kind of putting together at the moment. I guess secondary to that, but also pretty crucial to, I think, the future of Blister Critters is the introduction of the network, capital T, capital N. And starting to introduce more like TV show producery, like world
kind
building,
of meta narrative,
more meta narrative stuff that will. Meanwhile, there are discussions about what kind of mechanics that brings. As of right now, it's kind of like a flavor bit, where like this like kind of shady network is kind of giving you instructions on like how an episode should run, or
it's almost like another dimension, like how gnarly and zany we talked about. Blister Critters is one axis, so you can have a game that's more quote unquote realistic or simulationist, and also more deadly, and also for me more than any of that, the narrative structure is more like a zombie apocalypse survival story, which is we're calling gnarly. Or you can have it zany, where the narrative structure is so loose, it's more like Looney Tunes, and you're more exploratory. That's one axis that I think is really fun. That's in the game presently. We actually call it out by name. So we have these call outs that say zany or gnarly in different colors. We could probably do something in the future if you want. I'm just spitballing, but they call that the network. So the sort of meta dimension of like how tight are you, where the characters are themselves and that's all they're thinking about, or the characters are also like you're all producing the show for the network. And I think one of the great ideas you had, Tony, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you kind of owe the network. Like the network has hired you as actors.
You are like paid actors on the Blister Critters show. You kind of work for the network, and they're like, in some of the writings, it's like, we here at the network have come up with this great idea for this new blister path, and they're like pitching it to you. Or food glyphs are one of the new things, so you can like run into a sentient hamburger,
a haunted hot dog.
Exactly. And so the network is like, we just got all these great sponsors and they're all lined up. Brutal Burger is graciously sponsored this episode. You have to encounter him this episode. So it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek meta thing. Where
it's more Chekhov's guns. It's more stuff you have to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's also like it's speaking directly to how ad placement works.
And that's kind of the point, is to be super satirical.
Yeah, that's
and obviously, like as a producer or even as a player, if you don't want to deal with Brutal Burger sponsorship, that should absolutely factor into the game, where you're like trying to actively ignore him, but he's in the background like, hey, have you tried our new barbecue sauce? Like
that's a line for me. That's not a veil. I won't interact with sapient hamburgers. Let's cut that shit out of the story.
What about just like a big head of lettuce with like a scary, angry eyes drawn on it? So that
sounds great.
That's one project, Tony. I think also if you want, this is the right time. You could also preview. I know you're working on a card game.
Yeah,
if you want to
I
take
am.
a turn there.
Yeah, I'll give a quick pitch for a card game that I've been working on for a little while. It's gone through a few iterations. The title is Yoink Boink. So the general pitch that kind of gets you in the zone, you have been sent to hell, punished for all eternity. In this like limbo hell that you are in,
Chill.
you are being tossed over the cliff of punishment forever. So as you're tossed off, you kind of fall and tumble down until you splat and are donezoed, but then you just get resurrected back at the top of the cliff, back in line, to be shoved off again, to splat, to resurrect back on top and jump off.
It's like a Yakov Smirnoff joke about Sisyphus.
Yeah,
where it's
yeah,
like,
It's very
exactly,
Sisyphusian.
in Mother Russia, Boulder rolls you or something. I don't know.
But then the tone is actually a little bit more like a Severance Kafkan. Like people have accepted it and kind of made it into a fun game, right?
Yeah. So at the end of all of that, you've been doing this for so long that you and everybody else in line has turned it into a game called Yoink Boink, where you either try to yoink, so dodge out of the way of, or boink, run into, or fall into the various like hellish, kind of like surreal debris.
Sure, yeah.
So like as a couple of examples, you definitely don't want to run into like the tiny eels, which is like a working card name. But you don't want to run into the tiny eels, so you're trying to yoink those, trying to dodge out of the way.
Yeah,
but
as one does.
The big ice cream sundae that is falling through the hellish void, you want to boink that. You want to run into that.
Oh, yeah.
The whole game runs on a single D12, so everybody takes rounds rolling a D12 to see if they yoink or boink it. Each of the debris you guys all tackle on a series of levels. It's kind of a race to the bottom, so the first person to like 5 like successful yoinks or boinks is the winner. Which just means they get sent back to the top and pushed off again.
But you said it plays a little like Munchkin, so there's
It
a little bit of a
does.
co-op competitive thing.
Yeah, so the other component is you are always drafting like new gear cards, and they help you deal with like the ice cream sundae, where like if you want to make sure that you run into that, you would use a piece of gear that like alters your dice roll in a way that like guarantees you're rolling at a certain like threshold, or prevents you from like boinking or splatting. And so there is like a Munchkin-esque aspect to it where you're strategically playing cards like for the group that can screw over the whole group. It's been a lot of fun in the playtest that I've been doing for a while now. People get very, very competitive into it. And the games are super quick. So usually the games only last about 20 minutes, but you get through like 5 different pieces of debris, a ton of gear cards, and people are sent back to the top to get all the way down to the bottom. There's like portals, and it's very surreal right now in terms of the different things you can interact with.
Yeah, we were talking about how much is it Dante or Bosch versus how much is it Catholic, like 19th century, Irish American hellfire preacher hell versus some sort of almost more Lovecraftian. Like,
exactly. And that's where I tend to
vibe?
fall for most things anyway, I think, is more of like an eldritchy, surreal kind of, I don't know, goofier bent to some of the darker themes, which I think is like kind of plays out through most of my work, including Blister Critters.
I feel like this game sounds almost like the imago of Blister Critters. It's like this like horrible id dimension within Blister Critters is the Yoink Boinkiverse or whatever. It's the
where the critters go when they leave the show. The network
negative zone. Yeah.
The network has terminated their contract.
You've been canceled, buddy.
Yeah.
So I feel like that'll be something to look forward to.
Very excited about it.
By way of pitch thing, I think each card has a unique illustration, right? So this would be a more
so right now
originals.
there's 100 gear cards, so 100 little illustrations, about 50 different pieces of debris, and then whatever else I decide. I like to give myself a lot of illustrative work to do.
But like not that many. Like at the end of the day, it's a small box with a couple different dex cards, a couple D12s. So that'll be a fun thing to try to
Yeah, the idea is for it to be more of like a travel game that you can pull out if you have like half an hour at a coffee shop and play a couple rounds. Probably be too noisy for the coffee shop and get kicked out. But
you really want to scare the gray hairs.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
It's also like I think we're at a con games or a thing.
It would be really cool
when people are in line waiting for an event or something. It's like those are extremely popular here at PAX as well as other cons that I've seen. So there's always an opportunity to get a quick game in.
Yeah, ideally, we have it in time for maybe PAX next year.
Ooh.
We're kind of working on what the schedule looks like, so obviously no promises. Everything's kind of tentative, but it would be cool to show it off at same time next year.
Yeah, and as we record it, everything is tentative, and one of the big things we've talked about in the industry is due to the tariffs. So that might have to be a whole different why we roll if we want to go into the business side. But if tariffs on goods coming from China include toys,
Yoink Boink will be print and play.
RPGs. If it doesn't affect toys, then we can still print Yoink Boink even as we live in that hell world.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
We'll find out.
It's either lithium or Yoink Boink. You get your choice. Which do you want?
I would love it if the RNC ghouls were specifically mad at Chinese EVs, and then our games they called out they're too surreal and interesting.
These are too woke and surreal.
I hate these woke idiots. All right, so Chris, any final thoughts? Anything you want to say about PAX? What's your experience been before we
it's been great. We're also selling Dance Macabre Prima Mors at the Studio 2 booth, which has been very fun. I've been running playtests of Dance Macabre. That's kind of been my main gig here, and it's been going really well. Gotten some good feedback, gotten some really excited players, and I'm stoked to keep writing, keep developing as we're getting the feedback. Yeah,
and I'll say from the publisher, and it's interesting how much of this is driven by art, and people really do stop and engage with the art first, and it doesn't mean they're not interested or smart. It's just it's so overwhelming at these big cons.
Yeah, I
mean, regional cons, but
it's an attention economy.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's so much stuff to see, so they really want to see what's up with this weird snake with fangs fighting this mouse with a plastic fork, and then similarly they see what Dance Macabre and they lean in. It's a smaller format book, basically the quick start Prima Wars, but they love the art and they ask oh, well, what kind of thing is this? It looks OSR-ish, but it also is different enough, and it looks medieval enough. I think you did a great job of really drawing on the research.
No, the artwork in Dance Macabre is amazing. I really enjoy it.
Thank you.
So we're looking forward. I know you have a big rules update. So it's actually the printed version is currently kind of out of sync with the rules in a little bit ways.
Yeah.
We're going to revise the digital PDF. So if you have bought it, don't worry. We'll revise it on H&D TRPG. We'll revise it everywhere, and we'll kind of let people know, hey, we did a rules update.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really glad playtesting is going well. And I will say for Blister Critters, the same thing. It was so nice. Last year, we debuted Blister Critters, the quick start at PAX.
Yep.
It's free.
That's
we just played with people, asked for their feedback. Tony and I, you talked after, and a year later, here we are. We have the final box set. It's really nice to have that.
We just spoke to somebody that he was like, oh, I played last year when it was just a scrappy quick start. And then he came in, he was able to get the full release, and that was really
awesome.
cool.
That's so cool to see it go full circle like that.
Yeah. And watch you draw a critter, which I know was just so nice to be able to bring it up here physically and be can you doodle some stuff?
Yeah, I've been, for anybody that's buying a box at PAX, if you're listening to this, it's probably not you.
No, it's over by now. But
I'm doing little doodles on the inside of the boxes. Yeah. So I mean, at future cons, I'd love to continue doing that. So if we're ever out and about again, please stop by, and I'll absolutely do that for you.
Yeah, especially if you backed the campaign. I mean, definitely, we'll try to work with Tony on some other con events. It's super fun. It's a great way to just chat with people. So that's our kind of live from the floor update. Obviously, there's more to discuss, but we just wanted to, since we have Tony, we wanted to stop and kind of check in. Chris, is there anything else you wanted to cover?
No. Stay safe out there.
Yeah. Mask.
Wear a mask.
Yeah, I've been gobbling immune gummies and cough drops all day.
Yeah. And stay warm, since actually this winter in the Northeast it got cold. Really cold.
Surprisingly, out of nowhere.
Hadn't happened for a while. Hadn't opened my glove drawer.
Global warming is fake.
It's 20 degrees outside right now.
On that note, having just released a game essentially about global warming. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, thanks everybody, and thanks for listening to this bonus episode of Why We Roll. There's the background music. We'll be back with normal episodes in the near future. But keep listening. If you like what you hear, as always, please consider becoming a patron on the Stillfleet Patreon. It's patreon.com/Stillfleet. You can support Why We Roll. You can support Blister Critters. You can support Dance Macabre. You can support Stillfleet, the game, as well as the studio, as well as all of our other fun stuff like Robot Hospital and sometimes Kingdom and
Yoink Boink.
And Yoink Boink.
And Yoink Boink.
But again, thanks everybody, and we will see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Why We Roll.
Our theme music is by the brilliant Sam Tyndall and Arpline.
If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
You can find us on all social media at Stillfleet. You can find out more about Dance Macabre, Stillfleet, and all of our games over at stillfleet.com.
Hi there, I'm Hugh from Poderation. If you like today's show, why not check out Dungeons and Dragonfruits, the bizarre, strange, and queer in every sense of the word D&D podcast. Join 5 friends as they laugh, learn, and adventure their way through the weird, wonderful world of Widdershins, where dragons hatch from trees and have adventures of all forms in every shape and size. Available wherever you can get your podcasts.